just read your notes from what you've done or whatever. But I just want to kind of wrap everything into a nutshell and leave you with a couple of nuggets too. But, more than anything, I want to speak a blessing over every one of y'all, because I think that's what we all need. And I think that's one of the things I want to be able to do by the end of this. But some of the things I want to go, I sat through a fair amount of some trainings here lately and seminars and things, just trying to be better myself. And some of the things that I've just really has become apparent to me. And I think one of the things that is most important that we have to do is just be focused on intentionality, if that's a word, but truly being intentional. And I think it's so serendipitous, as this word has been the one that's been beaten into my brain here as of late. And Greg can tell you, I mean, we're part of this great test group, which is the only thing we can say for Team Beachbody. And the biggest thing that this really revolves around is just being intentional. And so one of the things that I found is that, you have to be intentional about every part of your life, whether it be intentional about what you put in your mouth, or intentional about what you do as far as a workout program, or intentional about how you treat your spouse or your significant other or your children, or intentional about how you build your business, intentional about everything. Because if we're not intentional about those things, they just tend to happen. And they tend to happen on autopilot, but it's not flying your plane in the direction that you want it to go. And so don't y'all want to be your own pilot? Don't you want to be the driver of your life? I mean, that's truly what we're here to do, right? We want to be the directors of our movie. We want to be the ones who call the shots. And so that starts with being intentional in everything that we do, okay? And so if anything, if we have learned anything over the past 8 weeks of going through this, I mean, we've talked about belief, we've talked about passion, we've talked about leadership, we've talked about building your vision, we talked about all this. So I'm gonna kind of review a little bit here in just a minute. But I think one of the things that I want you guys to absolutely take away from this and in everything that you do is be intentional. Because when you're intentional, you own it. And you own your life, and you own the results, and you have the responsibility. And that's what you guys are meant to do. That's why you want to be leaders, is because you want that responsibility. You want to own it. So everything from here on out, be intentional with it. All right, I had to say that. It's something that's been on my heart. What the heck is going on, Carrie? That is like funky. I'm gonna say you got some serious yoga action going on over there, but anyway. So what we have done in this group is we've really worked on your mindset, okay? And having a next level mindset, because so many times with people in this business, they feel like, they've been told all these things that can happen. They've seen people up on stage, or you've heard stories from me or Greg, or, and you've gone through, and, that's great, but I'm me. And some of you may have even been saying, that I can never do that. You know what? I'm good making a little bit of money, or I'm good paying for my supplements, or I'm good helping with my car payment, or maybe even my house payment. But it's that, Robert, when he talks about multiple six figures, or even earning 7 figures in a year, that's just crazy talk. I can't even say, hell, I have a hard time cycling twice in a week, that type of stuff. So that's in your mind, because that's your mindset. That's the ceiling that you have set for yourself. And so what you've got to do in order to be a better business person is you got to have that next level mindset. You have to say, you know what? It's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. Come hell or high water, I'm going to figure this out. Hey, listen, when I started building this business 12 years ago, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had to figure it out. Okay? And it took a while. And it was painful. But it's like childbirth, as so I'm told, because I've really never gone through it before. But it is absolutely excruciating pain and agony that you completely forget about the moment they lay that baby on your chest. So that's what building this business is, because it truly becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of your soul because you are giving yourself. You're giving your soul to others and expending your energy and your blood and sweat and tears and all this into something that you believe in. And it can be painful trying to grow it. I mean, hell, I have a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old. They're easy, but there's still times that I want to wring their neck and it's painful to be their parent, but I love them to death. And so that's what this business is. That's what your vision is there's going to be pain along the way in getting you to your vision. There's going to be times when you're going to have to sacrifice and you're going to have to say no to things that you typically don't say no to, whether that be going out or spending money here so that you can invest it over here or whatever that might be. But that pain right now, that sacrifice right now leads to greater things down the line. I was once told one of the early on personal development series that I listened to was by Jeff Olson, who wrote The Slight Edge. And one of the things that he used to say is he used to be an avid softball leaguer. He was like in 2 and 3 softball leagues. All right. And he would play like 3 or 4 games, beer league type stuff. And when he finally started building his business, he realized, you know what? He had to give up softball and it killed him. All of his friends were like, what the hell are you doing? You're too good for us, But he had to give up his softball nights in order to build his business. And he's a multimillionaire right now. And he has enough freedom to go play as many freaking softball games as he wants. So what did he do? He sacrificed in the growth phase so that when his business or his vehicle hit a maturity phase, he was able to enjoy the things that he really wanted to do. And let me tell you, doing the things that you want to do is a hell of a lot more fun when you have the freedom and the income in order to be able to do it. Because if you're like me, I can remember, I want to say it was a year and a half into this business that Melissa and I took a trip. It was a year and 8 months into this business, and Melissa and I took a trip. It's one of our anniversaries. I think it might have been our 5-year anniversary, something like that. And it was the first trip that I could ever remember being on that anytime that we did something, I wasn't hearing a cash register go off in my head. That's freedom. When you can do that and not sweat it. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and be stupid with your money. You need to be good stewards of your money. You need to be using it and blessing other people, blessing your family, setting up a legacy, creating generational wealth for your family. That's what you need to be doing with this. But what I'm saying, true freedom is when you can do the things that you want to do and not hear the cash register going off in your head. And that's what we've been doing here. And that's what we've been doing, and why I haven't talked to you about how to recruit and how to do social media posts and how to do Instagram. And I haven't dissected the compensation plan 50 Ways to Sunday, though I can do that. I haven't talked about Success Club. I haven't talked about what it means to be elite and what you need to have elite and LTV and all this, this, that. And what I haven't talked about any of that. Because to me, that's just parts of your vehicle. I'm more worried about the driver. And I feel if you know how to be a very good driver of your vehicle and you deserve to be behind the wheel, you're going to get to wherever you want to go. So one of the things Jim Rohn used to always say, and one of the reasons why we're here, is he used to say that earnings are much better than wages. And so all of us are trying to work ourselves into being unemployable, right? I mean, that's your general goal, is to become unemployable, because you never want to go work for somebody else again. And so as you do that, you've got to really figure out what that is going to be in your life, what that looks like in your life. What does being unemployable mean? What is that going to do? That should be part of your vision, by the way, that we wrote out already in this thing. What's it like to be unemployable? What's it like to be able to call your own shots? And one of the things that I really truly believe has to be on your vision board, if it's not already, you have to put it on there, is helping others build their businesses. Your job now is to go out and create more entrepreneurs. Is to go out and create and help people create their vision, find their vision, pursue their vision. You need to help other people build their businesses. Because what happens so many times, it's just like money. I talked about giving and what happens, how you're blessed when you give. Same thing goes when you mentor. If you try to keep all your knowledge and everything you got right here and keep it to yourself, that's about as far out as you're ever going to get, is right here. Life truly happens when you start to give it away. And so what you've got to do, that's why it was so important that I told you guys to get 5 people on this call. Because the reason why why I thought it was important to get 5 people on the call is not because I thought I was going to slay them, and I wasn't going to close them, and I wasn't going to make them jump up and down and sing hallelujah and speak in tongues and stuff like that. No, I wasn't going to do that. What I was doing is, number one, making you uncomfortable to have to actually get somebody on a call, number one. But number two, to show those 5 people that you cared enough about them that you wanted them to grow. That's why I did it. So that you would invest time and show that you are interested in 5 other people. So here's what you do. You take those 5 people and you pour into them. Talk to them about creating a vision board. Talk to them about what their goals are, what they want to leave their mark on this world. What's their epitaph, or not epitaph, their eulogy sound like? How many people are going to show up at their funeral, even if it rains? What I'm just saying is those are the 5 people you work with now. And if you invest in them like you've invested yourself over the last 8 weeks, those are your leaders. You're going to grow your racehorses. Okay? And when you do that and you share like that, I can't believe the growth. You'll be amazed at the level of growth that you will experience yourself. Because just like anything in life, in order to be a better coach, you have to coach other people. And you will want to become better so that you can coach them better. And it's enjoying, it's freeing, it fills your soul, it feels like giving back, a bit. But the great thing about this is you're creating significance in their lives. Like we talked about last time, you're creating significance in their lives, but you're also creating success in yours too by doing that. So anyway, so you got to help other people do that. Now there's 2 types of mindsets. We talked about expanding your mindset. There are 2 types of mindsets, and I want you guys to kind of really dissect this and even write it down real quick, all right? Because this is golden, I believe, and it's something that I underline when I take notes and stuff like that. And this guy said this, and I go, that's brilliant. You have 2 types of mindsets. You have a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. Okay? A fixed mindset sees failure as a limit to their ability. The fixed mindset is, tries something, fails at it, and says, well, I guess I just wasn't good enough to do that. A fixed mindset is like my 14-year-old who didn't make the A basketball team, so therefore he didn't want to play basketball anymore. And that's a fixed mindset. It's like that. Okay, now this is before he was 14. He didn't do it anymore, but this was a while back. That's a fixed mindset. Okay? Just limiting yourself. You're only fixed. You're in your little bubble, okay? And if it doesn't work inside this little bubble, and then you know what? Your mindset's not going to let it outside that. I can't make multiple six figures in a year. That's unheard of. There's no way. I live in too small of a town for that to happen. I don't have enough friends. Nobody will listen to me. They don't trust me, or they don't see me as a business person. I'm not at my goal weight. I'm not an after picture. I'm lactose intolerant, and Shakeology makes me fart. I can't sell it to anybody. Whatever that might be, that's your fixed mindset, because all you are doing is fixing it on yourself. So that's a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. A growth mindset sees failure as the opportunity to grow. The concept of failing forward, of learning from your failures, learning from your mistakes. Saying like Jim Rohn used to say, isn't that interesting? And then moving on. So not being afraid to put yourself out there, not being afraid to look like an idiot sometimes, not being afraid to stub your toes, not being afraid to get outside your town, to open yourself up to care about somebody, to actually try to lead them and feel like, I am a leader. Okay? But you got to lead yourself first. You got to lead yourself first. But that's a growth set versus a fixed mindset. So you need to check yourself on which mindset you're in on a regular basis, and talk to your people. Your 5 people, those are the people you're going to find out about if they're a part of the growth mindset or if they're part of the fixed mindset. Find out how they deal with failure, what they feel, what happens. Just ask questions, all right? So many people scared. We talked about fear of failure. Well, let's talk about success. How many people do you know that are truly scared of being successful? Scared of making it? I see Allison shaking her head or nodding her head. And some people are people are going to look at me different. I'm part of this multi-level marketing company. And if I'm making money doing that, then none of my friends are going to want to hang out with me. And if I really start making all this money, people are going to think that I'm stuck up and that I'm too good for them. And therefore they're not going to want to be around me. And if I start, getting in really good shape and start wearing nicer clothes, and then my friends that I've been hanging around with are going to think that I'm too good for them, and they're not going to want to be around me. And gosh, all this money coming in, I just don't know what I'm going to do with it. I got to pay more taxes. I've got money and I've got to pay more taxes. And gosh, I just really don't like paying anything in taxes. And so that's a real thing, by the way, guys. That's a real thing. It's a real mindset. So are you scared to be successful? That holds a lot of people back. You got to get over that. Because you know what? As you develop and as you personally develop your mind and grow your mind and grow your surroundings, success is going to happen. But guess what has happened along the way is you have prepared yourself for that. How many of you, first time you ever saw Insanity, it scared the living crap out of you? Exactly. But guess what you did? You did it. You modified maybe a little bit, but you did it. And then you did it again, and you did it again, and you did it again, and you did it again. And you did it over, and you showed up. And you showed up and you did it. And it may not have been perfect, but you did it anyway. And you kept showing up. And after the end of 60 days, you felt like a freaking $1,000,000 because you just conquered this big humpback, freaky, big ass King Kong gorilla of a workout. And now you look back on it and go, what was I so scared about? That's success. You just show up and you look awkward and you have to modify sometimes, but you continue to show up. You continue to show up. You continue to show up. And as you show up, guess what? Just like insanity, you're getting in better shape. You're getting better at the moves. Things hurt less, unless it's your ankles or your knees. Those hurt more. But you're getting better along the way. The workouts aren't getting any easier. It's like Jim Rome said, don't wish that things are easier, wish that you're better. You're getting better. That's life. That's business. And that's what's going to happen with success. So don't be afraid of it. We've talked about having a vision, knowing what you want, where you want it to be, where you're headed. Having a vision is going to give you power. Okay. It's going to give you the personal power of knowing the direction that you want to go. I can't think of anything scarier in life because I've been through it. It is a cause of anxiety that I have had for years and years and years. And it's not having a vision, not knowing where I wanted to go in my life, and just living life day to day, doing things what people told me to do, fighting the good fight, faking it till I made it, that type of stuff, but not really knowing really ultimately where I wanted to go. And I let life drive me instead of me drive it. And that's a scary thing. So that's why it's vitally important that you have a vision, and it's a strong vision, and it's ones that you can continually keep your eyes on. And even so much so that when you close your eyes, you still see that destination. Because we were meant to continue to move forward. But without a vision, we're just spinning in circles. So have that. And with that vision, that's going to give you the definiteness, whatever, of purpose. I think I spelled it right. Definiteness of purpose. And so, you're going to have to know, once you know your vision, you know what your purpose is. Once you know what your purpose is, you know what is going to fulfill you. And once you know what's going to fulfill you, then you are able to do those things that make you happy. Okay? And when you do those things that make you happy, you're truly going to be successful in anything you try. This just so happens to be the vehicle that you're going to be able to use. Guys, listen, Beachbody is not your life. It should never be your life. Okay? Beachbody is the vehicle that's going to help you to get from point A, where you were, to point B, which is your vision, your destination, where you want to go. That's it, plain and simple. It's the vehicle. It should not be your life. And if somebody ever steps up on stage and says that you got to be doing Beachbody all the time, and it sucks the lifeblood out of you, run the whole freaking different direction, because that's not what this is for. This is the vehicle that's going to allow you to change lives, yours too. Treat it that way. But just like your vehicle, what happens to your vehicle when you don't put gas in it? What happens to your vehicle when you don't change the oil? What happens to your vehicle when you don't wash it? It rots. Right? That's what happened. And that's why with this vehicle, you have to continue to drive it. Your car at home, if you never drove it, left it in the driveway, it will rot in the driveway. You have to drive your vehicle. Your vehicle was meant to move. That's what this business is your vehicle. You have to drive it. You have to continue to feed it. You have to continue to become better. You have to continue to train. Hire coaches, guys. Hire coaches that are going to make you better. Get people surrounded you that can speak into you. Call you on your BS when you don't feel like, it was just a bad day. Man, the Cowboys lost yesterday. It's a Monday. I'm just really down. And gosh, I have cramps. I can't do it today. I just really don't feel like talking to anybody. I'm bloated. Guys, we have a million different reasons too. I mean, I got to hang now. I just don't feel like talking to anybody. My wife turned me down again. I'm just not good enough for anything. That's bullshit. Okay. Any and all of that is bullshit. And that's just stuff that takes, that keeps your car from moving. That's like having a Ferrari and putting nasty watered down gas in the tank. That's all it's doing. It's just, it's not going to work. You're not going to go anywhere, and it could destroy everything you've worked for. So get over the freaking excuses and drive your freaking vehicle. Get off my soapbox. And I think one of the things that I want you guys to share with your folks is, doesn't have to be perfect. Building this business can be ugly as hell. You just got to step forward. You just got to move. You just got to talk. You just got to share. You got to collect stories. You got to love. You got to help. You got to know what you're talking about. Okay? Nobody should ever say that you don't know anything about our products or our workout programs. You have all the third-party tools that you ever need. Yeah, that's great. You have a ton of third-party tools, but you need to know a little bit about them. Okay? Because how are you going to believe in something if you don't know about it? Now, does that mean that you have to be in love with Sagi or in love with Autumn or Tony or whatever? No, but you got to at least know what their programs do and what they're meant for and freaking how long, and don't call it PX90 or, whatever it might be, 21-day fix or whatever it might be, you need to know what you're talking about. You need to know what Shakeology is. You need to know what Shakeology isn't. You need to know what the difference between recover and recharge. You don't have to be a subject matter expert. You just have to know what you're talking about. Same thing goes with our compensation plan. You don't have to be a subject matter expert on a compensation plan, but you need to know what you're talking about when you're talking to your coaches. Now, you don't need to go into it ad nauseum with them, but you at least need to be able to answer their questions. But more importantly, give them the benefits of why they should be building this business and building a team, and not just being a salesperson or a sign-up person or a discount coach. That's part of the vision, right? You can't get to your destination without money. And talking about money, just letting you know that the accumulation of money is a direct byproduct of your mindset. And like I've said so many times, is your income will grow in direct proportion to this growing, to your mindset growing. The more you expand, think of your skull as a wallet, okay? If you got a tiny skull, a tiny brain space, you don't have a whole lot that you can fit in there. But the more you expand your mind, the more you expand and read books and listen to audio and get good coaches. Well, Robert, I can't afford coach. That's just, they're expensive. Yeah, but so is being broke. A good coach will pay 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 times over what you invest in it. 10% of your income should go to personal development. 10% of your income should go to personal development. Okay? So podcasts of good coaches, whatever it is, but you got to continually be personally developing. And then when you do that and you grow, income's going to grow too. So, I mean, and in doing that, just continue to stack your skills and continue to just get better at one thing. I mean, if you can, it's been said, Zig Ziglar used to always say, if you could spend 15 minutes a day, 7 days a week, learning a new skill, by the end of the year, you would be an absolute expert at that. I think 15 minutes is for people who want to be average. I think you need to spend 30 minutes to an hour on a skill, learning a new skill. You could have a master's level degree in many different things if you just took the time to learn it. So, guy that I listened to today, and like I said, I was at a seminar for a good part of the day, just expanding my skill set. And one of the things he said is, you have to become a skillionaire before you can become a millionaire. And that's truly, you have to become more skilled. You want to make another $1 million? Learn another skill. You want to make another $1 million? Learn another skill. So that's what I'm going to challenge you to do. But now that we've gone through all of this last 8 weeks and we've shared with each other, we've partnered up with each other, you've taken steps forward into who you are and what you want to accomplish, and we've set this wheel rolling. I want to show a video, and I was going to go in and I was going to tell this story, but I have such respect for this gentleman who is actually one of my mentors, and you've heard me talk about him a lot. But I think he will do such a better job at telling a story than I would. And I'm hoping if I share my screen, I can share a video, and it'll be okay. So let me do this. Desktop. Okay, is it just sharing the Zoom screen right now, Greg? Okay.
Who set sail on the final, there was a man in 1519 who set sail on the final leg of a voyage that was to take him from the shores of Cuba to the Yucatan Peninsula. He had in his employ 500 soldiers, 100 sailors, 16 horses on 11 ships. And they were going to take the world's richest treasure. It was a treasure of gold and silver and artifacts, jewels that had been held by the same army for 600 years. Everybody knew about this treasure because army after army had tried to take it. Conqueror after conqueror had appeared with the forces and with the will to take this, but nobody had been able to do it. This guy, his name was Hernando Cortez. He was a conqueror, which, to our way of thinking, this is a horrible thing. But back then, it was like a job description. You could be a doctor, you could be a baker, you could be a conqueror. There were courses in it. And little kids would grow up wanting to be. And so anyway, Cortez was a conqueror. But he was a little bit different in his approach because he knew that time after time, people had gathered armies and nobody, so he had to gather an army whose level of commitment was beyond that which ordinary people consider commitment. So rather than just sign them up, he talked to them beforehand. He talked to them about what the treasure was like and what their lives would be like when they took the treasure and what their families and their generations of lives would be like when they took the treasure and how they were going to take the treasure and why they were different and what would be like that moment that they put their hands on. And so he laid out for these. And then they set sail. Well, halfway through the voyage, he realized he had a problem because a lot of these people who were so certain turned into liars. Yeah, I mean, Mr. Cortez, we're not sure we should be on this ship at this time. It was amazing. Cortez was like, and they got there. When they got there, they didn't just walk in and fight like conquerors had done in the past. He waited there on the beach. You know, he gathered everybody on the beach and he made them listen to talks about what the treasure was going to be like. And he brought somebody up to talk about what their children would grow up like and how the children would grow up in favor and in wealth because of what they had done. He laid that vision out for them. And then finally, the day came that they were going to march in and take the treasure. And they gathered around. And as they gathered around, they grew quiet. And they were ready for the speech. They knew that this would probably be the speech where Cortez says, you know, you go here, we'll go here. If the arrows start flying, meet me at this coconut stump. We're out of here. But what he said was 3 words that changed everything. As they quieted down, he leaned in and he said, burn the boats. And they said, excuse me? He said, burn the boats, torch the boats. And they burned their own boats at Cortez's direction. He said, if we're going home in their boats. Well, an amazing thing happened. They fought well. It was the first time it had ever been done. They took the treasure. They took it. First time in 600 years, and they took the treasure. Why? They had no choice. Take it or die. I mean, that was basically the choice. Take it or die. And I'm not sure they considered that. Take it. The final leg of a voyage that was to take him from the shores of Cuba to the Yucatan. Take it, die. I guess we'll take it. And they did. Boy, they took the treasure. And see, here's the thing. The question for us is, what is it in our lives that is still floating the excuses in our minds, that's keeping us from getting what we say we want? What are the boats in our hearts and in our minds that we need to burn? Now, I know why a lot of people are scared to burn boats. And frankly, a lot of it has to do with personal feeling. A lot of people are scared to burn their boats because they know they'll get criticized if they do.
So after 8 weeks.
Right now, I got a special guest for you coming in tonight to speak for the team. For 32 years, he was the head of Citigroup, one of the great CEOs in the country.
So after 8 weeks and going through this, the last thing I want to tell you guys is burn the boats. Burn the boats. There's no turning back. There is no going back home. There is no going back to the way it used to be. You either succeed or die. What are your boats in your life? What are the things that you feel comfortable escaping to? That when things get difficult, you fall back on. What are identify with those and burn them to the flipping ground. There is no retreat. There is no plan B. You succeed or you die. So that's what I want you guys to live your life as. Burn your freaking boats. Go save some lives. Make a shit ton of money. and we will party out like you've never seen before. Y'all feel me? Guys, the time is now. The time, no more excuses, no more delays. You have no reason to fail. Go grab it, guys. I appreciate y'all sticking with me over the last 8 weeks and some of the scheduling things and stuff like that, but showing up, I've seen the same faces every week. I love that. Guys, by doing that, showing up, you've shown that you're committed. You've shown that you have the desire to do what it takes to get to that next level, to gain that next level mindset. Don't be what we call a squatter. Okay? Don't be a squatter, which means you can go through all this and you don't end up doing squat. Don't be a squatter. Be a 1%er. Go out there and make things happen. All right? Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for being part of this. Want to continue to hear your stories, but I want to see your stories up on stage. Get there, and I'll be in the back crying like a little baby when you are. All right? God bless y'all. I appreciate y'all. I pray for y'all all the time. Blessings for y'all. Go change some lives, and we will see y'all next time.
All right. Thanks a lot, Robert.
All right, brother.
Definitely appreciate all your time for the past 8 weeks, and I think we all got a lot out of it, and love hearing you. You're so motivational, so definitely appreciate everything you did for us.
Well, I appreciate it. You know what? I'll leave you with this, and I may sound like a jerk, but let me just tell you, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to grow you. You know what? And if you got to be motivated to make money, you either got too much money or you're just stupid. So I don't think any of y'all are stupid, and you would, if you had too much money, you wouldn't be here. So go motivate yourself and make things happen. All right? We'll see y'all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.